Hello, Robert. Well, thank you for joining us, and big welcome to you, and especially as other customers going through the same journey as you have will really benefit from your experience. So, thanks for sharing your experience. So, can you describe your project? It sounds like a fantastic project that you went through, and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we probably typical a lot of families at the moment. We built our ground floor extension, so we extended our kitchen out the back, extended our lounge out the back as well. So we had more kind of living area downstairs. So we had bifolding doors opening out to the back, and we also had a couple of roof lantern blinds just on the new extension. So our extension's south facing, so gets a fair amount of sun. So we really needed some sort of protection from the heat and the light coming through. So we looked at a number of different options to see if we could maybe get UV protection on the glass. But in the end, I think it really needed sort of blinds to give us that kind of proper protection. So we explored a number of different blind companies, a number of different options. But yeah, we went with WindowTreat. In the end, that looked the best kind of quality blind from what we could see. We'd seen a number of different makes, kind of honeycomb makes, etc. But the one from WindowTreat looked the best kind of quality, and the one that would suit our purposes best.
Hmm. Yeah, so you had heat and a glare issue as well. So in fact, you went for the solar-powered um, blind with a metallized fabric, which is extraordinary at rejecting the solar gain and providing, fantastic glare control. And really, you've mentioned the problems you had. Has it solved the problem?
Yeah, definitely. We had, I mean, it's great getting a lot of light coming in, and it's obviously why people build those type of extensions. But yeah, there was a lot of glare. You were almost having to wear your sunglasses some of the time when you were inside, and yeah, particularly summer months, July, August, it can get very hot as well. So yeah, it solved both those problems. It's mitigated the kind of heat impact, and it's blocked out the glare as well. They're not blackout blinds, so it still doesn't impact your kind of visibility inside. You can still see inside okay, but it kind of cuts out the excess light and the excess glare.
Well, lovely. That's fantastic. And in terms of the aesthetics of the blind, did you have any concerns or worries that it might be obtrusive?
Yeah, obviously it's a kind of new extension, and it all looks fantastic when it's kind of done, and it's done to quite a high spec. So yeah, having somebody kind of, and you don't kind of build an extension with a view of kind of putting a blind in it. If you could perhaps get away without having blinds, then you would do. So it's not something you probably would factor into the design of your extension. But yeah, I think this looks really good. That was one of my main concerns, that it would look kind of clunky, it would be quite noticeable, and if you pulled the blinds along, it then wouldn't look particularly great. But yeah, I've got to say, it doesn't have any of those issues. It kind of blends into the existing extension, even when you have the blind fully closed. It's not particularly kind of noticeable. It kind of does what it's meant to do, but a lot of the time, you don't actually particularly notice whether the blind's open or the blind's closed. You can't really particularly see it. So yeah, it looks great. It kind of blends into the extension, which is kind of what it's meant to do.
Yeah. And you were contacted by Chris initially, who's our
Yeah.
specialist electric roof lantern blinds. How did that experience work for you?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's very kind of detailed, very knowledgeable. He gave us a number of kind of different options. We went through kind of what we were looking for. I think we'd been to a number of blind companies before that. I didn't think the quality of some of the other blinds was that good. They had a kind of honeycomb fabric, which it didn't really kind of look particularly nice or particularly kind of inspire me. I thought Chris's WindowTreat solutions looked better sort of quality. I thought Chris was pretty, he's quite knowledgeable, and so he went through a number of different options. I thought he was quite responsive as well. We had quite a few questions and there was quite a bit of back and forward, but he was very responsive, and by and large he'd get a response within a day or a couple of days, and he was quite helpful. We sent samples through, etc. Kind of explained the pros and cons of each kind of option. So it was very he was I felt very professional and very very knowledgeable.
And Robert, how do you find the survey and the installation? And were you worried it would be a messy affair?
We did. We went for a kind of solar powered option in the end. I think the electric one potentially might have been a bit more involved, which is why we went for the solar powered option. But the guys that did the installation were fairly kind of experienced, and they'd done a lot of kind of similar type of jobs. So they kind of really they kind of knew what they were doing. Again, it was fairly kind of quick. It wasn't particularly messy at all. They were quite good. They just kind of explained the process, how they work, etc. So I thought they were quite knowledgeable compared with maybe some workmen that you get in who kind of do a job, and that's it. I thought they were quite helpful in explaining the product when they did it.
Well, thank you. That brings us to the $1 million question, Robert. Is would you recommend WindowTreat to friends and family?
Yeah. I mean, we've only had ours for a couple of weeks, but I mean, certainly it's I think it's been great. I certainly, before getting blinds, I had some reservations about how effective they'd be and how they would look. So I was certainly very pleased with the end product. It does exactly what we want it to do in terms of looks and aesthetics. I think it looks it's great. It just kind of blends in. It doesn't particularly make the extension or whatever look any worse. So I'd be very happy to recommend WindowTreat.
Well, that's music to my ears.